Whatever I did, now it works. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council Full Moon of the Master Council Full Moon of the Master Council Full Moon. It just keeps getting better. Council Full Moon. It just keeps getting better. Hold on. It just keeps getting better. Hold on. Why is it not? It keeps getting better. Hold on. Why is it not? It keeps getting better. Hold on. Why is it not? It keeps getting better. I love today. Okay, no more of that.
Those are good.
Episode 56, kids. Yeah. You know, I wish I could blame, like, alcohol or something, but it's just...
Hallucinogenics.
Rob, what's our cigar for tonight? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Who's on the phone?
He's on the phone? Oh.
He's on the phone.
He is.
Oh, crap. Okay.
He is going to be one of welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks. We really know what we're doing here.
I had it go. Oh, man.
Three of us.
It's Tuesday. It's all right. We're going to have to change. I've got my new schedule, and after training, I'm going to be working 10:30 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, so... How's Saturday for you guys, since Sunday is not good for Kris? Dude.
I could do Saturday evenings, but I can't promise I would be there for all of them because it's one of the days my wife and I have off together and we go do stuff.
Oh, Mr. Steele. He's so handsome.
Saturdays are fine.
Saturdays are fine?
Unless I'm doing a show, which, you know, when I'm with somebody else, but Saturdays are fine with me.
Do you want to do Saturday evening or Saturday earlier in the day?
Probably Saturday evening would be. Maybe we could start at 4, 5, just so that we can...
Same time slot, different day?
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
But it's going to have to be, like, after fair and after
so you think that this might end up having to go on hiatus for a few weeks until fair clears up?
I hate to say that, but I need money, kids. Like and subscribe.
Life first, always.
Yep. There he is with the cigar. What's the cigar tonight, Rob?
Yeah, what's our cigar?
Tonight, we have The Machinist by Luciano. It's a small house that uses a lot of South American leaf, including Mexican leaf, Central American leaf in that case. And they just released this one in September of 2025.
Nice.
It's in 3 sizes. And it's got a very nice kind of an upscale band to it. It's a good, strong, medium blend. And what I mean by that, it's not leaning towards full, leaning towards mild. It's a nice medium blend, and it has a good draw. It's the new de facto size. Everybody is still enthralled with the size 60 cigars. So basically the size of a blacksmith's thumb.
Nice.
So,
it's a big thumb.
It's a good draw. It has a nice flavor, and it's one that I stumbled on when I was at the cigar shop last time, and I love to find new ones I haven't had before and pick them up and give them a try.
It sounds good. So what do you think it'll be best with? Fish, steak, beef, chicken?
Because pork. It's medium, I would put this one with
bugs from the sea.
Beef and pork.
Pork?
Yeah.
Not bugs
beef
from
and
the
pork,
sea?
Because
shrimp.
It's going to be a little bit stronger.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to stand up to and work with a stronger food, something that's got a little more flavor to it. Now, if you were doing fish, but you were doing a Spanish-style fish, or you were doing a more spicy fish, this one could work very well with that. This one will work well with a nice, what I would call kind of a house whiskey. So something not necessarily a Speyside or a Highland or Island Scotch, but a good Irish whiskey. Any of the Canadian blends would go well with this. And this one would go well with most of the what folks associate with the Kentucky bourbons. So they're not too strong, but this would be a nice flavor.
Kentucky bourbons, otherwise known, got started as what we had on hand to make bourbon and whiskey and mash with. Hey, don't knock it,
That's right. What you got? I got corn. What else you got? I got wheat. What else you got? I got that in the corner. Throw it in.
That pot, that big kettle. Fire Sign Theater, we only have corn. Yahoo! Now we can make whiskey.
There you go.
We want sugar. We want to make rum.
That becomes your new stage show. The life and times of the distillers from the 12th to the 21st century. And it's the only difference is the accent.
You're not wrong. I desperately want Tatton and Frenchie to come on the show, and I've been telling them that since the 24th. They are located in Tucson. They have had the Pirates Plunder Shop out there at the Renaissance Festival. This is their 34th year.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I met them in 91 through our good friend Paul. That's how I met Tatton and Frenchie. And after an 11-year hiatus and not doing fair, and because they're like, are you still burned out? And I started to think about it, and I'm like, I was really burned out a while ago, but now, it's been a couple years. I'm getting the itch. It's been a while since I wore a goofy costume, talked in a silly accent, and made strangers laugh, and throw their heads back and mouth open. Also,
you need to get that checked. If you're having an itch, you need to go see your doctor.
No, I had something. I was stupid this weekend and got really, really into it. So I would hit myself in the chest pretty damn hard with the fake axes, telling the people, you see, these are marital aids. You don't need counseling. You can save money by clearing out the living room and using the foam weapons. And yeah, my chest is green. It's all bruised. You can see that right around in there. Because I was like, boom, 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 boom. Then halfway through the second day, I'm like, ow.
You remember that from war, right? Being able to, the Tuesday after war, and you had that great big purple-green mass that went down your back.
That's what I heard the two of you and Paul say, yeah. Paul bought that. He had a flanged mace that he bought from Tatton and Frenchie like early on when they first started getting those awesome LARPing weapons. And I would be talking to one customer, and Paul would be talking to another customer, and for a display purpose, for an example, he'd step sideways and swing that thing full on and hit me in the chest, and I'd have just enough time to do the Houdini, before, or as in martial arts, toad kata, to use all those inner muscles that protect you from impact. And he would always hit me square at the chest. It's like, could you at least give me a warning? That's abuse, brother.
That's like the old days of getting into a clinch with somebody who had a really, really nasty rap shot. And they come around behind and catch you in the shoulder, and you're like, I'll take that one.
That's going to sting for a week. Yeah. So now my chest is green and yellow and blue and purple. Pretty awesome.
You won't do that again. Well, yeah,
I'll move down to my ribs. Start working on those. Start working the rib cage. Work the body. He doesn't have the stamina. Also, which I'm trying to get them, Tatton and Frenchie are crystal cast dice. So I sold probably 7 or 8 sets of dice, $40 and up for the whole set. And
bought 2 sets of their crystal cast a long time ago. I gave them to my wife because they matched her other set of dice. Now she has 3 sets of purple dice around here somewhere.
We got Christine a good set of their lapis, their solid lapis dice, which they were a little pricey because it's a semi-precious stone and one of the oldest semi-precious stones that
I would be real careful with stone dice. They are fragile.
Yes, they are.
They will chip. They will break in half. That's why on those, I would get yourself a padded felt-lined box, and I would roll those dice one at a time.
Yeah.
Because they will break.
Luckily, you can usually contact them at the office, so because they don't have like extras there. I had a guy come up, can I buy 8 6-sided? Actually, no. But here's the website and the phone number.
I have a really nice set of painted dice, and even they have some chips on them. But, they're dice.
Yeah.
I bought them intended to game with them, so they're going to get used.
They're going to get marred.
And they're going to look used.
Marred and scarred.
And when they get old and busted looking, I'll go out and buy another nice set. But keep the old invested ones.
I'm still pushing for a joint gaming session, and they're like, well, because they've been playing with the same group for 40 years down in Tucson. And then I talked to Jen and Gretchen, and, Gretchen's in another group now, but Bedlam Bells fell apart, and Smashley made Fairhaven Morris. And I know most of the Fairhaven Morris people. And something happened where I know I sent them a message through Facebook, but they say they never got my message. So, okay, maybe that was a false memory. Maybe I sat down and meant to send them a message. It wouldn't be the first time. But they're interested in being on the podcast so we can have a bunch of Morris dancers. And they have a bunch of, everybody that does SCA and Ren Fair always has a bunch of hilarious stories. And it's great because in Fairhaven, here's a little fair history. I went to school with a guy named Jeff, got him out to do the Renaissance Festival. He became a fixture at the Pirates Plunder. Jeff passed away. He's no longer with us, but his oldest of 2 daughters worked in the Pirates Plunder, and now she's a Morris dancer using her mother Karen's Morris bells, so it's the second generation of Morris dance. It's so geeky, and I know
Very
anthropologist level excitement. But it's that level of that's so you would geek out on it if you were part of that community, because you're watching a child that was a baby being carried around, and now she's almost 30. And she's worked in a shop. She's in the new dance team. Well, it's not new. They've been around for a couple years. But, a lot of years.
It's like in the SCA, being able to hand off your weapon, the weapon that you came up with and have rebuilt an ungodly number of times to the next generation, and see it go back out. We had one weapon, one great sword that got handed down through the family, and it had disappeared for a little while, and then I heard it had reemerged to the great fear and consternation of the old timers who saw it walk out onto the field. So I remember that. I still get shakes from it.
It's funny you say that too, because at fair it's costuming. I have so-and-so's pouch. I've got so-and-so's mug. I have John's belt. I've got his
Wars
boots.
like that too.
Yeah,
so we weren't fighters at our camp at the war. We were drunkards and pirates.
Musos.
And so, yeah.
That's freaking amazing.
There's a lot of tradition. Like, for instance, Jen, the Morris dancer, she's a cosmetologist. She's been doing my kids and my wife's hair. And the last time I got a haircut was 2006, and Jen cut 17 inches all the way around, and we donated it to Locks of Love. So that was like, if I'm going to have my hair cut, I'm going to go to one of my friends. Otherwise, I just let it go, and I'm only wasting money on shampoo and conditioner instead of barbers. And I'm sorry that you guys have to do that, but for me, it'll be one extreme to another.
Do I?
Really, Bill?
Really? Okay, Rob.
My last haircut was May of 2024.
Well done. You're catching up to me.
And when it gets
professional hair,
what my dermatologist calls my Shirley Temple curls, when it
Hey.
starts getting this and it tangles up, it's getting close to being cut off, and I don't get a trim. When I get my hair cut, it's going to be like what Rob has there. And then I'll let it grow out for 2 years again like I have.
See, I thought you were
just.
I thought you were going for the Indigo Montoya 17th century Spaniard look, like that painting of the smokers, and all their hair is like
the
professionally
Dutch
done.
masters.
They look awesome. It's like, wow.
No, this is not. This is actually just what my hair looks like when I wash it and comb it back and let it dry, and then at the end of the day, it looks like this.
There you go.
It does what it does. I've had a bad hair life.
Yeah, I had to learn the hard way. As a young man in the SCA who loved having the long beard and the 3 Viking braids down the back and 3 Viking braids in the beard. And I loved to get out into the workshop and do all kinds of things with the lathe and the mill and all the rest of that stuff. Little John would always smack me on the back of the head. Remember that your facial hair is there. Remember that your hair is there. And eventually it would get, it would get pulled in, or it would get melted. Oh, yeah, you got too close to the forge there, didn't you?
Or smoking
Cover
weed.
up.
I can't count the times I've accidentally melted my beard off, or mustache, or eyebrows, eyelashes. Oh, Jesus! The wind
One time when we were
changed.
kids, I watched my brother lose all of his facial hair in like 2 seconds.
Oh,
We were staying in a cabin, and my dad wanted to get the fire in the fireplace started. So he gave my brother a cap full of white lantern fluid and told him to go throw it on the embers.
no.
The fireball filled up the entire room, and it only lasted for a second, but it completely engulfed my brother for that second, and he had no eyebrows for like a year.
As soon as I'm done laughing, I'm going to help you. I swear to God.
That's why for the longest time during blacksmithing season, my forearms are pretty clean. I look like a swimmer at times.
Yeah. It's funny how that all goes together.
On an unrelated note, one of my hobbies is collecting Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah.
And I found one of my holy grails today. Let me show it to you.
You and Guy are going to have to sit down and talk. Oh, my God. The Bat Boat from the 60s show. Robin,
It is
get me
the
the
Bat
shark
Boat.
repellent.
But I have all kinds of classic Hot Wheels. I have...
The Mystery Machine. Do they make a Captain Caveman van with the Teen Angels?
I haven't seen one.
God, I want the Teen Angels.
Not
I
to
mean
say
the
they
van
don't
that
have
they
one.
drive in.
No, the only other Hot Wheels that would be the holy grail for me is Snoopy on his doghouse.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would buy that one if I saw it. Yeah,
There's a Snoopy. I have a Knight Rider with real rubber wheels.
I've got one up here somewhere. And then
It's funny you mentioned that, Rob. My father was a big fan of British cars when he was alive. So he couldn't afford the Jaguars and things. So he got me hooked on MGBs. So we had at one time 7 different MGBs. And the one that I took the greatest liking to was the MGB GT, the hardtop. And I built one, drove it, cried when I had to sell it after my father passed, and I went through all kinds of different fun. So my buddy Gary, who came and played, he went out and found, apparently only Matchbox makes a MGB GT. And this one happened to be in yellow. So he brought me that.
Makes authentic cars that are detailed to real cars. Hot Wheels makes fantasy cars. Even the real cars they make are fantasy cars. Well, they're the same company now. They have been for a long time. Mattel owns Lesney. Oh, you got a Braille one. Cool. I've seen those.
Yeah, this is a Braille car.
Braille.
It has Braille on it.
It's got Braille right along the front of the packaging, right here.
It's also got Braille on the car itself.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've got Hot Wheels keychains. I've got 2 Hot Wheels keychain fobs on my car keys, and 2 different Hot Wheels keychain fobs on my work badge. I probably have several thousand Hot Wheels.
Right on.
Yeah.
I had 2 backpacks full of my son's Hot Wheels. He gave them all to me when he, turned 18. He's like, here's all my Hot Wheels. And then they were all of mine from when I was a kid. So I literally have Hot Wheels everywhere. They're stacked everywhere in the house. My wife, God bless her, tolerates it. This is another one I picked up a little while back.
Ooh, very nice. Land speeder.
Oh, the T1713s just aren't worth as much since they came out with I can't even remember the number sequence with not the letters.
I used to bullseye womp rats in my T16 back home.
They're no bigger than 2 meters. I do not want to know a 2-meter rat. I'm sorry. They would kill us all.
It's a womp rat. And if you play the game Star Wars The Old Republic, you can go to Tatooine and fight womp rats. They suck.
Okay. I did put a...
So, can I bring up my idea?
I thought you wanted to talk about your last show on Saturday, and then...
I can talk about my last show. I can talk about my last show, and then we'll talk about the idea, because it'll kind of right into that.
Did you have a good run?
Show was Tempe Fan Con this past Saturday. That was my very first show in 2016, and it was my last show in 2026. So
full circle.
Everybody was like, "Why stopping? Why?" Is like, I just need a break. I need to do something else, and I have this. I'm working on my novel, working with the other writers, publishers wants me to edit a hip anthology. No idea how that's going to work.
One issue at a
time. Geek wants me to go with him to show, and Top wants me to work with them at well.
Nice.
But big one was Bianca Thompson, who runs Artists Assemble Horror Fest.
Yep.
And she wants me to do overnight security for a couple of nights at the new location. And I told her that I would do that, because she's my friend, and I would do that. I told her that Horror Fest TV there, give a group of guys a camera and let them interview everybody.
Let them ghost hunt when they're done interviewing.
Right?
The buildings probably want it.
Well, this year is the 5th anniversary for Horror Fest.
Oh.
And it's also the 40th anniversary of Alien.
Oh, that's...
It's already announced.
October, right?
86.
This is in October that it's coming up?
Yeah.
It'll give me time to figure out how to stream from mobile.
Yeah. And she's already announced her first Horror Fest guest. And it's Michael Biehn.
No way!
Yep.
All right, you can't keep me away. Careful, Johnny. I hear he's real fast.
Well, he let slip that it's going to be an Aliens reunion. There's going to be more people. Alien. Like, almost the whole cast.
Does Lance Hendrickson still do cons? I mean, I know he's getting up there in years, and
yeah,
I don't know if he is or not. It would be freaking awesome if he was. But all I know is that she just announced Michael Bihn's going to be there.
What about this?
He's going to be there. So
tell me more about Pumpkinhead.
Love that movie.
Which one? He's been in a lot of movies.
I love Pumpkinhead. First one? Oh, heck yeah.
Fun.
I love that movie. I got the DVD on that.
Cliff is going to have a couple more surgeries, and now they're thinking that he might have, MRS? MRS?
Okay.
We know we don't have a lot of time, so eventually I'll have to, we'll just make it all one podcast, But then the name is like 5 minutes long. Yes, Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge with Bats of the Belfry and Bob McCobb's Workshop. Yeah, that's just too much. I actually have been plugging this podcast out at fair, and 2 women on 2 different days, they didn't use the exact same words. I'm paraphrasing the quotes, but they basically told me that the name of the podcast is just enough, not too much, and catchy and rememberable enough. I'm like, coming from geek strangers, I can't bow enough. Oh my God. Look.
So I think the Supreme Council of Master Geeks Lodge needs to have a table at Horror Fest.
I don't see why not.
What say you?
I say yay. That's my vote. Gentle Zoll?
Well, this all depends on when it is in October, because I have vacation in October, and I plan to be out of town for that.
October 5th to the 7th.
Oh, in the beginning.
I should be available for that.
That's nice.
All right. It's the first weekend in October. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be at a hotel in Mesa. They had to switch again because the hotel that they were at this year or last year got sold, and they're going to tear it down.
That's
drastic.
Well, that sucks.
That's a bit drastic. Okay.
Yeah. You know, well, the first place they had it was the Sheridan up on Dunlap in the freeway. And she was going to do it.
The several, they used to hold hexagons there.
Yeah. And they were going to hold it there again, but apparently the ballroom where we're at caught fire. Don't know how, but it caught fire. So it was like gutted.
That's 2 omens, Kris. This horror fest is just not. It's gaining momentum.
Well, then she moved to the Wrigley Hilton or Sheridan or wherever over in Mesa.
Yeah. Oh.
And she was there for 2 years.
Mr. Ruckus.
The second year that she was there was going to be another horror convention the weekend after hers. Well, they decided to announce on her weekend that they were suspending the show. And anybody who paid to be in that show did not get their money back.
But did they have the show later? I mean, it's really super inconvenient.
No.
I would not be able to stop yelling completely about that. What the fuck? Yeah.
Right? And so the hotel decided to hold her responsible for it. It wasn't her show. It was somebody else's show. So she moved over to Tempe, and then now that place is going bye-bye. Yeah. But, yeah, she has, like, a bunch of celebrities. She does, like, bookings for celebrities. And one of her celebrities is Sam Jones.
Really? I met him once.
Please tell me we know who Sam Jones is.
I know who Sam Jones is. He's an artist. He's amazing. I sat and talked to him.
Oh. Not Tom Jones. Sam Jones.
I've seen Tom Jones.
If I only knew what's new, pussycat.
He was on my bucket list of concerts, and my wife and I actually caught him at the Hollywood Theater in Vegas.
No,
Flash Gordon?
That's Sam Jones. I thought you meant Sam Jones, artist that I met in 2006. 2007.
Oh, Gordon.
Flash.
Gordon.
He'll save every one of us. Thank you, one of you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, she has him. She's got like 12 other guys.
Dude, that'd be
people
awesome.
That she represents. So yeah.
Horror movies are like soap operas and King Kong and The Incredible Hulk and Captain America and Superman. These things should never go away. They should always be around. You eventually outgrow them, and then it's not for you anymore. It's for you to make the next generation that's all excited about it.
Yes.
I love horror movies.
Me too.
What would you consider to be the first horror movie? Notwithstanding Nosferatu.
No, I
Because
just watched it. Somebody's castle. Begins with an O. Oh. 1896. And it's really weird. It's not scary at all.
I know.
It's flamboyant.
The original Nosferatu was, it was a direct ripoff of Bram Stoker. And the only reason a copy of Nosferatu exists is because when it was filmed, some copies were sent to the United States. And when it was found that it was because it is a direct ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula, it was withdrawn in Europe and all the copies destroyed. And if not for the copies sent to the United States, somebody in the United States preserved a copy, that film would be lost to history.
That's kind of what happened to It's a Wonderful Life. It got lost and everybody forgot about it and nobody renewed the rights. So every radio station and television, or every television station could play it as many times as they want, as many years as they want until...
It wasn't even a popular movie at first until much later.
It becomes nostalgic in the 70s.
It was a Capra movie, wasn't it?
Yes. One of his best. I sat down and watched The Bells of St. Mary and The Bishop's Wife, and I have to say, all of them are... It's a Wonderful Life is the best one of that time period because...
The Bells of St. Mary's was good. It was a decent movie. It wasn't a great movie. It's just... It gave us White Christmas, which then they made a movie called White Christmas, which was basically a promotional vehicle to keep selling the damn song.
Yeah.
And I've not seen White Christmas. I've heard it's kind of mediocre.
It's the longest music video ever recorded.
Oh, my... Standing ovation. Yes. Oh, my God. White Christmas, in a sense, starts the entire trope of manipulation in the Christmas theme of narratives, of storylines, of save Christmas. Christmas is in peril. We were going to use Christmas to manipulate the individual. I mean, we've been doing it since Ebenezer Scrooge and the Christmas Carol for Dickens, and even before that, going back later stories. But White Christmas is it's the World War II generation that kind of like, okay, using and manipulating everybody is part of the season. So, because Scrooge, like, Grinch and Elf, they go through a transitional stage where they start out one way, all this shit happens to them, and they end up a better person on the end. Or with Elf, he's acclimating back into human society after being raised by elves, and in the course, he, if you want to put it this way, saves James Caan's character, and in the same... we were talking about it at work today with strangers. That's always fun, and I mean the royal we, because, yes, I'm mad. But Elf is that... I posted Elf jumping up and down. We're going to see Santa tomorrow. Santa! Because we were doing something at work, and all of a sudden I got all these, oh my God, I love that movie. And it's like, it hits so many different things. For one, it's a dichotomous comedy, if you think about it. How does it begin? Well, very first part of it, it's Bob Newhart. Narration. He starts as an animated character, he becomes real. Stephen Wright, Bob Newhart, and a few others are like the absolute kings of the dry deadpan comedy. They're absolutely brilliant at it. They don't get excited. They don't jump around. They don't get too animated unless they're telling a story. Well, Stephen Wright, not at all. But, and then as you go through the story, you're thrown into Will Ferrell's, wild, crazy, Harpo Marx, Jim Carrey, Marty Feldman kind of madness, the human cartoon, and then it ends with Bob Newhart's narration telling you the end of the story. Because you don't need to have an Elf 2, it's Happily Ever After. I mean, you didn't really need to have a Shrek 2, but it was a brilliant film.
Or 3.
You need it because the studio needed the fun.
But it was really good. It was a big surprise, yes. The third one was really good.
Shrek had a lot of good, especially the first one had a lot of really good satire in it.
Yeah. The fourth one, unfortunately, felt fantastically rushed, and it felt like
Which one was the fourth one?
He makes a deal with Rumpelstiltskin that he's never born, and when he comes to,
I haven't seen that one.
It's like they edited half the story out to keep the kids, and they've kind of watered down Fiona's character in the normal story, because when you go to the alternate reality, she didn't have a hero save her. She defeated the dragon and saved herself. So now she's the leader of this ogre resistance force of all these ogres that live in the woods. It's William Wallace, basically. And Rumpelstiltskin is basically like the king, and he runs everything. And he has a cadre of witches, and one of them, his main witch, is Baba Yaga. So it's that actor yelling, Baba! for an hour and a half. And it's just like, oh my God, you did an alternate reality in this Shrek.
Did you see the Puss in Boots movie?
You could have done all these different things. No, I saw the first one, but I want to see the next one where he meets Death, the wolf, because that everybody says it's great.
I haven't seen that one.
And the way
Disney Channel also has a Puss in Boots TV series that is really good.
That's what I've heard nothing but good things about.
It is really good. It's one of those that it's for children, but there's some adult level humor.
Fantastic.
Especially from the female bull bartender.
Yeah?
Yes. Figure that out.
Oh, I don't know. It's probably as entertaining as the ugly stepsister bartender that has Larry King's voice, Doris. Oh, when I see him, I get the... Those movies are so good. Yeah. But number 4, you just kind of ended it going, oh, that's not where I would have went, and you had a glorious opportunity for like 6 different plots that obviously didn't make the cut, and you ended up with this one. So it's definitely the weakest out of all of them, because the characters are good, the story's good, but it's just, it feels rushed, and it
doesn't stick the ending.
No, it feels dumbed down for 6-year-olds. So everybody who's 11 plus is like, well, that's Shrek. Hey, there's Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It no longer
you have
lives up
such
to
hopes for sequels, and they disappoint you. Like my favorite movie of all time, The Incredibles. The sequel was good, but it wasn't up to the original.
No.
And it had some, I don't know. It was all right. The premise behind it was good. I just thought I figured the villain out too early.
Exactly.
Was Mike Myers and Charlize Theron still in Shrek 4? Or did they change voices?
I think it was, it's Cameron Diaz, though. It's not...
Cameron Diaz.
You're wishing it was Cher. You got her on the mind. Who doesn't?
Right.
Oh, anyway. No, yeah, it's still them. They came back for it. And Eddie Murphy and Antonio Banderas. And
yeah, I don't think they'd do a Shrek movie with subs. If they did, it would go direct to video like so many Disney sequels.
That's highly accurate.
Like every
one of Disney's major, animated hit movies had at least one direct to video sequel that weren't very good. The exception being Lion King 1.5. If you've not seen that movie,
Timon and Pumbaa's perspective.
Yes, it's the retelling of the Lion King from Timon and Pumbaa's perspective, the whole movie from their perspective. And it is hilarious.
I have not. Maybe I'll get back to you on that. Have I seen that?
I would seek it out. It is worth it.
Well, I mean,
I also saw the live action Lion King, and despite actually having enjoyed, was it live action Beauty and the Beast? I don't remember, but I just honestly, I'm not a fan of remakes, and especially Disney live action remaking all of their animated classics.
No, okay. What were you going to say, Rob?
Well, I said I'm old, so the first thing that pops into my head when you start talking about, a sequel that really pulls it off that you really look for. When I've seen those, when those have come up, particularly in the genres that we're talking about now, the song that pops into my head is Zero Mastrell singing Comedy Tonight.
Something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Nothing
And
for
those
kings.
are the ones that pop. You sit there and you're watching the film, you're enjoying it, and then in the back of my mind, that soundtrack starts playing. So, yep, this one hits on all cylinders.
This is the house of...
When I can see Zero Mastrell in a toga going through in the very background singing a comedy tonight, this one hit on all cylinders.
There are times when a sequel to a movie does surpass the original.
Mad Max, Road Warrior.
Yeah, Road
Mad
Warrior
Max
is
is
better
awesome,
than Mad Max.
But Road Warrior is another level.
Chain.
It's just another level of that movie.
Another sequel that was better than the original was Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. Hands down, my vote is yes on the council for what he just said.
Best Star Trek movie ever made.
I don't know if you need a third or a fourth, but I'll go find people if you guys don't agree.
That's right. Motion carries.
Motion is carried.
The sequel to Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back.
Kirshner.
Probably the best sequel of all time. Definitely the best Star Wars movie of all time.
One of Kirshner's best films, honestly. I mean, he did some good, really good.
I did pick up a couple new movies on Saturday because Damien and his wife Gabriella were there with me.
Oh, yeah?
Selling their book movies. So I picked up a couple more movies. Class of Nukem High.
Class of Nukem High. Right on.
Never heard of it.
It's a trauma film.
It's a trauma.
Toxic Avenger and, oh God, what's the other one? Surf Nazis Must Die, and they're fun. They're fun, stupid movies that you get drunk or high and watch. You know, they don't make any sense.
For me, movies don't have to be serious, and they don't have to be realistic.
No.
And this one is classic from our childhood.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Terry Gilliam's finest film.
I don't know. Brazil called. They're angry with you.
Oh, Brazil is number 2. Followed by Baron Munchausen and tied for third with 12 Monkeys.
There you go. Yeah, I saw that they had this, and I'm just like, all right, I have to have this. Like... childhood movie.
Horseflesh would have never...
I saw this in the theater.
Horseflesh would have never gotten us into this. Horseflesh is dead. Well, do you want to be leader of the group? We agreed no leader of the group. That's right. So shut up and do as I say. Oh, okay. I love Time Bandits.
Yeah. Yeah, they did really, really well at this show. Like, because... the show, Tempe FanCon, I mean, there's nobody there selling movies.
Really?
It's mostly, like, geek stuff.
Gotcha.
Comic books, prints, knickknacks, stuff like that.
Artists.
They actually had books and movies, and they were selling them, like, hand over fist. Like, they couldn't keep stuff. They probably sold, like, 40 or 50 movies that day.
That's a good day at an event.
Yeah, that is a good day for selling movies.
I reposted it. Came up in the feed. The Exterminators. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Time traveling nonsense. Pre-Tasha
They
Yar.
had a movie there that, because I love cheesy horror movies like frickin' some Nukem High and stuff like that. They were telling me about a movie called Plump Fiction.
Plump Fiction?
Plump?
Nope.
Fiction. Not Pulp Fiction.
I haven't seen it.
Plump Fiction. I have not seen it either. Gabriella was trying to get... Damien was like,
I'm doing it now to see what it's about.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And the box cover was exactly like the Pulp Fiction box cover.
It does.
Oh, he's drawn into it.
I'm just looking at the blurbs. It's a parody film. It's a spoof of mid-1990 films in general, and violent, convoluted films more specifically.
So it's like a shot across the bow at Tarantino.
Not another teen movie. What's another movie?
The only thing that would add to it is if you could get Weird Al to do all of the music.
All of it.
Oh.
All of it. All the music there is, it's out. Now, what movie were we talking about that was...
I need the accordion to be the dramatic music as we're moving through different events. Yeah, that would be perfect.
We were talking...
Weird Al, if you're listening.
I'm trying to remember...
He's coming to Tucson this year.
Right on.
I've already got tickets.
I talked to several thousand people.
Yeah, me and my 3 adult children are all going.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
I even took vacation time.
Now, when is that? When is the date for that?
I'd have to go look. I think it was like $80 a ticket for nosebleeds. Actually, it might have been more than that. It wasn't cheap. But we're sitting way up high. But anymore, if you go to a concert, there are jumbotrons everywhere. So even if you can't see the stage, you can see the stage.
You can always feel the music. That and, I mean, the cost of living, and he has an entire crew to pay.
Yeah, most of the time we go to concerts, my wife and I will go out to the, I don't know what they call it now, the pavilion out west, Desert Sky used to be. And we'll just get lawn tickets and throw out a blanket and lay on the lawn and listen to the music. The last one we saw there was Disturbed. Their pyrotechnics show was next level.
Nice.
They had like these rails mounted vertically behind the stage and maybe 30 feet high, 80 feet wide. And there were fire jets on it that, you could light up the whole rails. You could light up jets on the fire. It could spit out. They could move the fire around like fountains and shit. Nice. It was quite an impressive pyrotechnics display. And it went on they must have burned 200 gallons of fuel.
There's the cost of the ticket
I can only imagine how hot it was up on that stage because I've been close to pyrotechnics when they go off. They give off serious heat. At the Ghost concert, the one I saw in 2017 with Iron Maiden, we were sitting in the second section of America West Arena, and we could still feel the pyrotechnics on the stage.
Yep.
So the people down in the audience must have lost most of their hair. People down on the floor, yeah.
Those are the ones that make the fire captains real nervous.
This whole place smells like BO, weed, and burnt hair.
Now, this last time we saw them, they didn't have quite the same pyrotechnics show, but the band, every time I see this band, there's more people on stage. They had like 13 band members. Drummer, keyboard players, 2 backup singers, 2 guitar players, a bass player, just saxophone player, just kept going.
The xylophone player.
Probably on the next album. But that is a band that is more a production company, a touring production company than a band. Because they all wear masks, you can plug any musician that can play the part in there.
Did I know probably none of us watched the Grammys. Had anybody seen Post Malone's Ozzy cover from the Grammys? Yeah.
I did see some of it some of it was posted on Facebook, and it sounded like it was done extraordinarily well. It's all-star band.
Yeah,
pulled it off extraordinary.
You said Ozzy, a tribute to Ozzy?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they had, in the background, they had, like, everybody else who had passed, like, Ace Frehley was up there, like, all the musicians who passed last year.
I heard they skipped Brent Hines. He was the guitarist for Mastodon. He quit the band earlier this year, and then a few weeks after leaving the band, got hit on a motorcycle by somebody running a stop sign and killed him.
So
I heard about that. Yeah, that one was.
He should have been mentioned. I hear they skipped him, but then, heavy metal is always the, red-headed stepchild of the Grammys. They, 1 year they gave, Metallica's heavy metal Grammy to Jethro Tull. They gave Eminem's Grammy to Elton John. And these are people that should have won and didn't, because the Grammys likes to, shit on the fringe. Like hip hop and metal are, the Grammys will never consider either one of them mainstream. Although I was surprised that last year they gave Album of the Year to Beyonce for a country western album. Yes, they did a country album.
Gets old.
Yeah, I've listened to the album. I'm not a big fan of country, but it's as good as any other country music out there. Better than some, because it actually isn't vapidly singing about trucks and haystacks.
If you told me Beyonce switched to classical and did a score for a movie, and the music, that is laughable. But sorry, man, anybody
country
can do a country. Yeah. Country's just bastardized folk, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a more twangy. Now, bluegrass is more on your technical, classical, heavy metal, funk, and
genre. Bluegrass is its own thing. If country music, modern country music, is an agglomeration of several different things. You have classical western cowboy music, Roy Rogers and the Sons of the Pioneers, Marty Robbins, cowboy music, western music. Then you have country music, Patsy Cline, Gene Autry,
Bobby Helms,
Willie Nelson,
all the older,
Hank Williams, Jim Reeves. And then
western.
In the 60s, country and western started to kind of blend, so that by the 70s, and then in the 70s, you get the outlaw country like Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and Tom Paul Glaser that start mixing rock and roll elements into their country. And on the other end, you have the Beatles and the Flying Burrito Brothers mixing a little bit of country into their rock and roll. But yeah, bluegrass, definitely some bluegrass influences in country music. I could sit and listen to, banjo and mandolin picking all day, but that's just the redneck in me.
Well, you've got these fountains of music, whether you want to have a ragtime fountain or a big band fountain or we don't sit and listen to symphonies anymore on a mainstream scale like we used to in the days of Beethoven and Mozart.
I actually do still listen to classical music myself.
Well, I meant that,
but you're right, it's not a mainstream thing.
It exists, and it should be a lot more popular, but movies and TikTok. As time goes on, we lose language and we lose culture and we lose everything. For example, when I was getting into the Renaissance Festival in the beginning, I'm a giant history geek. So I started reading, and then we started having the workshops and talking to the professors that were teaching anthropology and history of Europe. And in 88, 89, they did a study. I got to find it so I can back it up with here's the study. So the average person in, I think they said the 1500s, Kris, you go out of your apartment and you're walking to go to work and you're just going to encounter people in your neighborhood that live there, right?
Yeah.
If you lived that long ago, granted, there wouldn't be as many people because plague and conditions depending on the year, but they said the average interactive conversation between like friends, neighbors, co-workers, city people, rural people was an average of 36 words. When they did the same poll for the modern day, which was almost 40 years ago, it was the late 80s, the average number of words in the conversation for about a 3 to 5 minute conversation was 18.
I believe it. I believe it.
It's a good quote from Shawshank Redemption when Brooks Hadlin gets out on this, and they get the first letter on the inside from Brooks. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And he has a job at the grocery store, and one of the things he says is, the world went and got itself in a big damn hurry, because he went in 05 and he's coming out in the 60s. So in just 60 years, his entire reality had changed.
Yeah, I've seen.
Our generation,
That's insane.
Our generation is used to waiting 2 to 6 weeks for delivery, 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. We'll get it when UPS comes here. Hopefully the mailman will bring it today. What do kids have? Oh, I paid $20 extra and they're going to have it here in 3 hours.
You were talking about, as you were talking about that, Bill, it reminded me in 1953, and I just looked it up and make sure. Disney did Toot, Whistle, Plunk, and Boom.
I remember that.
Yeah, isn't that
it was their
that was the evolution of
experimentation.
music.
It was also the first time they did minimalist animation, because the animation for that was a lot simpler than the very rich feature film animation that Disney had been using. It is very simple cell and line drawing animation.
Gotcha.
It is the evolution of music through human history. And it speaks much to what you're talking about. And the thing to remember is we talk about it, if we look at these things, that society in general evolves. So every aspect of society. So we've talked about the performance arts. So storytelling grew from sitting around the campfire to now bringing in somebody who can help to play out different characters, getting 2 or 3 people to tell a story, to putting together a more staged performance. And we've developed that throughout history to what we now see. We have people who are even taking it to the point of using the AI hallucinations to create performance art in a visual performance of some story program that they can then put out there. We've seen that happen with music. As you've spoken, the regular communication that goes on. The original communication was quite literally tones and grunts and tweets and whistles that eventually became different words and verbiages that we used. And for the longest time, communication was very simple. You talked about this thing, I give name to thing, I point to location and give name to location, thing, location, go. That was it. Then as we went along, you had to add certain aspects, because now you had to give more and more detail to support what you're doing. Take the goats, move them through the field, and take them to the river, then bring them back. We've seen that progress similar to the music. Symphonic music was not necessarily the music of the masses when it was being generated. So those great classics that we all know and love, all of these wonderful classics, they weren't things that were performed on a street corner. You didn't throw open the doors to the performance house.
50-piece orchestra.
Yeah, so that the masses could hear when Beethoven was premiering a new piece.
Oh,
so the masses did not know about it. So, over time, that form of music became overshadowing to the music that the masses knew, which were small 2, 3, 5-piece groups, maybe a 10-piece group if you had a big group, if you had a big event happening where you could get all the unwashed masses together and you could get 3 fiddle players and a mandolin player, and, okay, we can have a nice event. To what we see today, where I can, you and I can go in, we can lay track over track over track, and we can create this beautiful sound that sounds like there were 1,000 members playing in this symphonic or in this rock and roll or whatever the case may
But
be.
really, it's
We're able to build that. But the music itself has changed. But the thing about toot, whistle, plunk, and boom is it ties everything back. The very first time that a rock fell onto a hollow log and made a sound, and somebody said, "Ooh, what the heck was that?"
after you described what the cartoon looked like, immediately it came into my mind, because they talked about not just the boom, but then they talked about the reed and how that evolved into. Then later they have the guy playing the hammer dulcimer, and he's all dressed Egyptian. And you're right; it was a very minimalist art.
I love it because it's probably one of the best. That one is one of the best ones that I can think of for teaching this incredibly complex idea in a fashion that the greatest number can pick up, can understand, and can carry forward. And then they can, in their own mind, say, "Oh, I can tie that to this. I can pull this idea in." Like Rob had mentioned Beyonce and her country music album. Well, think about it this way. What you guys were just talking about as far as bluegrass is Appalachian music. And Appalachian music actually comes from the Highlands of Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. It's not even English music. It's Highland or true country music from what was the islands in Europe. And that music actually came from what was in the northern regions of mainland Europe.
No, you're not wrong. You play, like, for speed metal guys that have never heard bagpipes or never heard ullum pipes, and they're like, is there more? Yeah, dude, some of it's really slow, but some of it's fucking fast. They wanted, jigs and dances and reels and,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Take a metalhead and really drive them nuts and say, okay, I'm gonna play some Uilleann pipes. Now these are high pitched pipes and these are light pipes. These are light pipes. And the guy sits there and he either puts it under his leg or he puts it under his arm. Now I'm gonna let you listen to some modern Scottish bagpipes. And this is a guy blowing into it. Now I want you to hear a set of Scottish war pipes. And they've got a deeper drum and they pull harder.
Well, the whole idea behind bagpipes originally was, march into battle with them, and the noise is supposed to unnerve the enemy.
If you've never heard it before, scare the hell out of you. Unless you're an SCA freak like us, and when one year we had some pipers come out, you want to see what it looks like for an open battle with a bunch of crazed Scotsmen and bagpipers. Well, that was an event to behold.
Warrior poets. They fought like warrior poets. Well,
no, we fought like crazed idiots who were pretending we were someplace else.
Pictish psychos. Yeah, I think that's Ireland. Whoops. The original. They're all awesome. If only we had the history that existed before 13,000, we'd probably have a lot more stories. But then we'd have a lot more names to remember.
There's like 50,000 years of humanity before the earliest known recorded history. So there's more history of mankind lost than there is accounted for.
Yep.
You're also not go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, didn't we just recently, wasn't there, not recently, within the last year or two, there was some new finds in North America that dated to about 18,000 years.
Yeah. They're finding
for something, and they're still trying to figure out. Yeah, they're still trying to figure out the who, what, when, why, and where of it. But it's extending a lot of this, and everybody's looking at it. They're going, okay, now we have to reevaluate some of the thoughts and ideas. And they found some much older ones in Europe, and of course, as they go through Africa, they keep finding more and more there. But you've seen some. They're also seeing more of the geological shifts. Now, as they start looking, like, there were some major geological shifts that we had less nuanced understanding of because we didn't have the depth of knowledge that we're starting to develop again, that we're going into even further.
You're also, we're not, okay, from the fantasy horror aspect of a human, we're missing a golden opportunity for terrible nihilist writing. Vampires could be a lot older and a lot more whiny than we could. Oh, I've been alive for 50,000 years. This again, you know. Well, I mean, another trope to the Earth is the center of the universe. You guys have only been around for 2,000 years? It was made 7 years ago. What about all these fucking bones we've got around? Well, they put there to confuse people. That's the biggest convoluted plot device I've ever heard, besides time travel and magic.
Everything is magic until such time as Neil deGrasse Tyson figures out how it works.
So it's not. And then we move on to other magics.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious. He's fun. But man, can he suck the fun out of things? With his like, let it go, bro. It's fiction. It doesn't.
Well, he normally starts off with, I'm able to separate my brain, but then like you said, he just destroys. You're like, I can't enjoy this now. Thanks.
This is why
my son knows how much I love. My son knows how much I love Neil deGrasse Tyson for that very fact that he'll go through and he'll say, I love this. I love these movies. I love these ideas. Now I'm going to, the scientist in me says this is the reality of it. So my son got me tickets to go when he came to Phoenix last year. And we sat down and he did, it was a beautiful event. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And he's talking about all these things. And the way he closed it out is he has a regular, it's like 3 or 4 presentations that he does. He says, now, for those of you who know about this, I'm here to destroy sci-fi movies. And he has a bunch of different programs that he does like that. He puts the movie up and he shows you the scene and he explains to it and says, this is what they're portraying. And now here is the science behind it. And unfortunately that doesn't work. And you can hear the gasps in the audience and he just laughs. He's like, I know. I hate it too because I want to go and I want to escape. I can't because this isn't true.
Yeah.
See, I'm on the other end of it. Lava Being in my chat said, yeah, it is magic until it is repeatable. Then it is science.
Yep.
Damn it. That's hilarious.
See, that's why I can't go to horror movies. I can't do horror films anymore because I spent too much time doing makeup and learning from the guys. I got to meet the guys.
I love horror movies, and I go and watch them with a detached kind of amusement.
No. Stop chasing her. She's going to kick your ass.
The best I ever had, we went and saw when Gary Oldman played Dracula. We went to see that. And I was there with some friends of mine, and we all did the special effects and things like that. We studied special effects, and we got to meet a lot of our special effects heroes. And the scene where he pulls his head back and he opens his mouth and the fangs grow. And we all lost it because nobody had ever done that on film before that. It took us about 2 months to break it down and talking with our buddies and talking with the guys that we knew secondhand in the industry and everything. That was the worst part because we saw it at the premiere and we're getting into it. We're like, oh yeah, oh look at the armor. That's really cool. I know how he made that. Oh, this is really fun. They did that scene and we just kind of sat there. We're like, oh yeah. But I had to go back to watch it again to get engrossed in the film because that immediately my brain was like, how did he do that? He went this way. He had to do this.
Where does he get those toys? Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
I can't go to a museum and look at metalwork without my mind going to.
This is a fake. Let me tell you why.
What are the steps to get there? How did he make this happen? How did they get this done?
I agree with you. I can't go to haunted houses. This is in the wrong place. You came out too early. You've got to convince them that the room is safe. Why is the light pointing here? It should be pointing there. You need to hide in the shadow. I'm sorry, I'll leave.
Yep. Forgive me.
I wanted to help, and now they're yelling at me.
Theater kids.
They're. I am now. Yeah.
It's the meme that you see where on Facebook it's become popular to have the meme of why special operations veterans can't go see war movies. That's not how it works. You can't do that. Well, what the hell are they doing? Yeah. Same thing with firefighters and EMS. We can't watch
you don't defibrillate somebody when they have a heart attack. You just keep pounding on them. No, now everybody's defibrillating.
Like watching a movie about military life and like watching the movie Stripes.
Yeah,
the
my dad started
uniforms
yelling.
Vaguely resemble military uniforms. That is as close to military as that movie gets.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's the military everybody hoped for.
I want one of those motorhomes.
Shit, yeah. Or first thing my dad said, not early on in the movie, they're too old, and all of those guys should look like John Candy coming out of that barber. None of them should have hair.
The Army, and you watch King of the Hill and you see one of the characters on there. Bill is an Army barber. No such thing. The barbers on the Army bases are civilians and they get paid. In fact, on our first day in the Army in basic training, they gave everybody an advance on their first paycheck so that we could buy a set of running shoes and pay for our haircut. Because yes, in basic training, they made you pay for your damn haircut. Just for a guy to take clippers and go bzz, 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 and just shave it all off.
Yep.
Cost you $3 that haircut did. Back in 1984. That was when I forget what they were called then. It was like Great Clips, but different company back then. You could get a haircut for $6. And I remember every time I went there, I came away thinking, man, this haircut looks like shit. Because I have non-standard kind of wavy curly hair, and places like that cut hair to a formula. They follow a formula to get the same haircut every time. Well, if you don't have regular straight hair, they don't know how to handle it, and they will end up fucking up your head every time. That's why now I don't get haircuts very often, and when I do, I'll go to a barber shop. A real barber shop.
I grew up with my dad. First haircut I ever got was at the barber the officers used by Davis Monthan Air Force Base. And when Dad got reposted to Luke Air Force Base, where did I get my haircuts? It was either the barber at the base or there was a barber in Glendale who used to be on the base, and he was the guy that a lot of the officers that lived in the neighborhood went to. So you walked in there, and it was never, well, what kind of a haircut do you want? It was never, well, a little. These guys would sit down, officer's haircut. I have, I have to go out. Well, enlisted, off they went. So that's how I learned how to ask for a haircut. Officer. Okay. Here you go,
in the
son.
Army, there were basically two instructions. You could go for the high and tight or the flat top.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the flat top because my hair isn't straight. My hair wouldn't stand up like a flat top. I got in trouble in the Army once because the Army regulation says it has to be off your ears and no sideburns and up off your neck. So I grew the top of my hair ridiculously long so that it was always under my hat. Until one day the hat blew off and our officer saw it. He's like, son, tomorrow you're going to go get a haircut.
Tomorrow you're getting a haircut. I'll not have
Got a little closer to the barber.
I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Pyle, why do you hate my beloved Corps? That's the Marines. That's not the
Lava Being says he can't watch Big Bang Theory. I agree with him. That is a show that I just can't. I can't. It's jokes about geeks that people think geeks would find funny, but actual geeks don't find funny at all.
It's the culture's version of those two.
Of what nerds? Yeah. Most nerds aren't, nuclear scientists and whatever those guys are.
No, they're just like normal people with normal jobs, but they're just obsessive about this one thing.
I agree that I've heard that it's really hard to watch if you watch it without the laugh track. The jokes get a lot cringier when there's no laugh track behind them.
You've got the hot neighbor, and that's a plus, because Kaylee Coco, or whatever the hell her name is, she's always easy on the eyes. But for the most part, it's just a group of normal guys that have geeky hobbies and high cerebral jobs, but the only one that's an actual nerd is the Sheldon character, because he lacks a lot of social skills, because nerds, they know about social skills, they just don't give a shit. It's like,
yeah, they really don't.
They're an expert at what they're into, and they just really have a lot of disregard for.
I could go off at length about sitcoms I don't like.
Well, I mean, I hate humans too, don't get me wrong, but we are still a species. I've just recently discovered that.
Yeah, it's like I used to be a people person, but people ruined that for me.
I won today. I got every slow and lost and confused and out of town driver all the way home from work. Sorry.
Those are the days that make me miss my pickup truck. I had an old Dodge pickup truck, the second gen, 95, heavy duty, former snowplow, rattle can black.
Former snowplow.
And it had the big, it had mufflers on it at one point in time.
But we made new ones.
It was, and as that was the one that I loved to drive, because people would look at it and you could just see the terror in their face when they realized, oh my God, this guy just doesn't give a shit.
I had an 82 Ford pickup that my ex-wife had inherited from her grandfather after he passed. This thing had sat in a driveway for 10 years. The inside was dry rotted to death. The panels were falling off the inside of the doors, but it was a free truck. Yep. And I drove the shit out of that for 3 years before we traded it in. And the thing I liked best about it is it was a rusty brown, it had dents, and it looked scary. So if you were out on the freeway, it looked like the car that didn't have a problem running into your car if you don't get the fuck out of the way. And
That's
people would get out of the way. That's what I like. See, I drive a nice car now, and people ignore it.
Yep.
When I drove a beater, you drive a beater and you drive it aggressively, people give you space.
They're like, oh, this guy wants
these
to
days,
die.
not
He's
anymore.
got no money. Look at it.
These days, not anymore. Traffic. I don't know if you guys drive as much as we do, but traffic in the valley has just gotten nuts lately. We see every day on the way to or on the way from work, we see at least one red light runner. Today, we're heading east on University, getting ready to pass under the 143. And as we start to pull out into the intersection, somebody comes north off of the off-ramp, flies through the intersection on a red light, and up the on-ramp on the other side, narrowly missing hitting us because we had the green and we're getting ready to pull out. And we see shit like this on the daily.
Oh, yeah. That's
so
why
I drive every day.
That you met idiots on the freeway because they're out there in force. The fucktard apocalypse is upon us.
If I could afford it, I'd drive an M-Rap around town, and that's it. Because, I mean, if you can't get past them, you just go over the top.
The problem is I resort to their level. And now I'm the asshole on the... Oh, here we go. Hi, I really don't care. I'm on my way to somewhere. Move! Drive! I become my father. I don't flip people off. I don't do road rage. Well, sometimes I do if you drive too slow.
I
will
I
scream
will
at you with
talk
all the
shit,
windows.
but
Yeah, and talk shit
I
while the windows are
do
up.
not look in your direction. I do not give you hand gestures.
looks
I
like
do
I'm
not tell
singing. I
people
don't
they're
care.
number one.
That's when you
Because
have the old.
this is a state where they might return fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wanna...
the windows are up, and I play Pantera as loud as I can stand it without my ears bleeding, so that I don't have to deal with anybody else. I'm in my own world of I'm going to kill everyone I see.
all of you are going
None
to
done.
pay. Yeah. No,
Cemetery Gates on repeat.
You said Pantera. All I can see is you behind the truck looking at something. Walk on home, boy.
I wanted to paint that on the tailgate of the pickup truck, and my now ex-wife did not think that was an appropriate statement. I thought, why?
There's no swear words in it. Are you talking to me?
Oh,
Pantera's awesome.
Yes, we love the Brothers Abbott.
That and Man of War. If I could have afforded the speakers to play Man of War at 11 through certain areas at certain times, I would have done so, just to get the point across.
Whoa! What the hell? I'll be right back.
I think he's got cat wrangling to do.
Bill, you remember the years ago there was one of the Super Bowl or commercials. They had all the cowboys, and they were wrangling cats, and the guys were talking about their scars. And I got that from the Calico one year when we were out here. That's what I see Bill as is the cowboy who's trying to wrangle the herd of cats across the open prairie.
Ruckus needs to. It's about that time for him to be neutered, and Mr. Wiggles has been fascinated with Saffy since he got here. And now Saffy is tired of these two little boys following her because, she's going to be 7 or 19, 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so
we need you to like and subscribe so that we can buy Bill a tranquilizer bite.
So I can shoot my cats.
Okay,
Actually,
he's okay now.
Those are Clay's cats. They're not mine. I can't do that.
Have you tried growing catnip?
Growing it, yes, and they've destroyed it before I was able to get a cage down. But I've got to start all over again, and I'll do that.
I don't see Bill in a cowboy hat. I see him more in a first hat, yelling at him.
Sounded fair. I left it on the lamp. It was easier than. I got there late. Both days, but not late enough to, miss lowering the drawbridge and helping set up the display. But on the first day, I parked way the hell in the participant lot, almost near the 60, not that close, but in that kind of northern direction. I was running late, all the other stuff. I didn't have time to do this and that, and I ended up leaving my lights on, and then the $35 battery jumper thing. I don't know, it was messed up. So Tatton had to come rescue me, and I'm like, I have to go to work. I have to close Wendy's. And then he wanted to tell me, it was mostly good stuff about everything I did for the, can't this wait till tomorrow, please? Please, boss. So I'm like over an hour late for work, but it's Wendy's. They're just happy you showed up. I'm like, yeah. I'll fill out the paperwork. This is probably a strike against me. No, it's fine. You made it.
Yeah. Thank God you're here.
It's really, that's fast food. That's what that's like. So then, yeah, we finally get the restaurant closed at like 12:30. I go home. I go to sleep, get up, do fare. Same thing again. Come all the way back, go to Wendy's. But then Monday sucked because I close at 12:30, but then I had to be back in the morning at 5:30 for the truck. And then I had to start the obviously I'm still dressed, the new job at Peckham. So it's like my first day at work was a surreal experience. It was like,
was today your first day?
Second. So it was like, I'm much more well-read because I came home. They let us go an hour early yesterday. I wish that was today, but there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to ask during training to go, can I go do my podcast? Thanks. See you guys later. No.
I swear I'll give you a free shout out.
I'm bold, but I'm not that fucking bold. Oh, my God. Yeah, they're great. Actually, they're pretty good company. I'm impressed so far. That's either here nor there. I'm a temp. They could let me go tomorrow. There's 150 of us in the training class.
So you need to shine like only you can.
Yeah. So far.
See,
He needs to sparkle like a vampire.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. Oh.
No. But you walk into the job with the attitude, this job's already mine. I just need to make you realize it.
Yeah.
And that will often get you a job. I've often, walked into a job. And then there's jobs when you walk into the interview and you just know this is a formality. There's no way they're going to hire you. Yeah. And I've had those.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that were there last year, and it's fluid. And I learned that it was some of the people, most of the people. And I was, anyway, so Tuesday or Monday, I just kind of came home, got Steel inside, fed all the cats, and then laid down, and I slept till my phone started going off, which it's going off in the other room. I should have grabbed it when I was up, stopping a cat bite. But I'm sure it'll happen again. Don't worry. So, yeah, Monday was a surreal experience, but the company's good. So, very happy about that. But you're brand new and you have to work. Everybody's always nice in the beginning. There's only a couple jobs where they're like, hi, get to work. Oh, okay. Nice to meet you, Steve.
So the floggings will continue until morale improves. Thank you.
I always hate the first week on a job because you spend a lot of time standing around waiting for somebody to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I was always that person, what do you want me to do? All right, I'm going to have to start with this. And I'll go do it. I'll come back. All right, what's next? You're done already? Well, yeah.
When that's done, what do you want me to do after?
I did it.
It's kind of the same thing where in the morning, it's mostly adults. There's only a few people under the age of 25, 21, 20. So they don't have a choice. They don't get to be lazy. All the adults are doing shit. But at night, it's mostly young people. So the girls actually work pretty hard, and the guys, the two of them work very hard, and the manager guy works very hard. But the other two, I think they're like 19. So, yeah. There's a lot. So
you're going to be the adult supervision
eventually.
That's pretty much what's happening now. Well, there's a lot of grab ass going around, and it's like, dude, it's 2016. You can't be running around grabbing the women like that. I mean, I know they're pretty. I got it. They're really young. It's all on camera, dumbass.
Yeah. So you see that? You see that? You see that? You see that? Those are cameras.
Dude, they're everywhere.
Have all kinds of...
You're only safe in
the... It's like my job. I work at the airport, and I know the 2 or 3 places in the building where I can be and not be on camera. The problem is that those places are like hallways walking between cameras. So if I walk out of the one camera, they're going to notice if I don't walk into the next one.
Second one.
Although I don't think they're actually monitoring them. They have all the exits monitored now because we had people were doing wage theft. They were coming to work, clocking in, leaving, and then coming back to clock out. And so now they surveil everybody going in and out. And if they have a reason to believe that you're pulling fuckery, they will pull the video and see when you left and when you came back. So
yeah, they know.
We had some of that in our areas in California, which is really the wrong place to pull that kind of a stunt with a hospital group. And my director found out about it. And what we ended up having to do to follow all the rules, we had 45 days of video because in the hospital, you have the badge readers everywhere. So I could read where you went, when you went there, when
We
you
have
came
those
back,
too at our
everything else.
job.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had 45 days of this, and we had a couple of enterprising young individuals who we had to document that way. And then it was one of those, everything, you heard about it because everybody was upset that they were seeing it. They knew it was happening. And then all of a sudden, nobody talked about it because after the 45 days, human resources got involved, and then the lawyers sat them down, and they were not so politely escorted from the facility.
They were
And
lucky
after
charges
that,
weren't
yeah,
pressed because that is technically embezzlement,
yeah.
which I believe is a felony regardless of the amount you take.
Yeah.
And in California, you have, there's a lot of good protections for the employees, but with those protections come a lot of requirements. If you, to your point, Rob, if you commit fuckery, we have documentation on it. All bets are off. And so, the state was very much, hey, we were protecting you. You did this. We now hate you with a passion. Go away.
See, I have a union that protects people from losing their job easily. Unfortunately, that means that we have some people working there that really don't deserve to be working there, but they're going to stay there because the union will protect their job. But most of the people aren't that.
Yeah. That
So
was
I
the
got
one
some
part.
gifts on Saturday.
Ah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
A little Cthulhu.
Nice.
All right, and then we got, his wings fell off. We have everybody's favorite Sasquatch.
Very nice.
Awesome.
And then we have pretty cool werewolf.
Oh, wow. Yeah, very cool.
And then we got one more. This one's probably my favorite.
Drum roll, please.
We got Nessie. Yep.
Look, Nessie.
Yeah.
Very
So I gotta
cool.
find a place for these guys for when find someplace to put those. So that was from my friend Heidi. She was the voice actress for Hut for Stand Adventure. She came by, dropped those off. I gave her some art from the comic,
Very cool.
and said goodbye to her. So that was very nice of her to do.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, I need to bow out for the night. So,
All right.
wanted to share those. But so I will see everybody next week.
Here's my toys.
gotta
I'm
work
leaving.
tomorrow.
Screw you guys. Okay.
I've got to work tomorrow, so I've got to pull out extra days.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah. Ron, you both have, and I will talk
Take
to you
care,
guys
sir.
later.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah.
Exit
And
stage
then
right.
there were three.
Three jobs for 2 months. I am all that is man, baby. It'll
I've
happen.
been there.
Oh,
Working 3 jobs, working 7 days a week, bicycling 18 miles a day and commuting 12 miles a day by bus. It was brutal. In bed at 1 o'clock, up at 7 to start it again.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Monday was rough. And then even tonight, did work, do this, and then I go in at 10 for 2.5 hours to help with closing. Booyah!
You are the go-to.
So,
What'd
if you
you
don't
say?
mind me asking, what kind of work are you doing over there at 48th and University?
It's passports. Renewing
Okay.
your passport, and it's a kind of assisting with the customer service end of that. I mean, obviously, we're not an agency that's down in Tucson, just for the record. But Peckham pretty much handles the customer service. They're actually a more of a company for disabilities. So even though we've been throwing around a lot of words that if I was at work, I would get in a lot of trouble, but I'm not at work. I'm not representing them right now. It's totally separate. But yeah, it's also, Department of State. No cell phone. I have to put my cell phone in a locker. We're not allowed pens and paper. We're not allowed food. We're not allowed the no list is actually quite long. But it's only a little bit more severe than working for Med D. So, okay, you have to badge every time you go in the building. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time you go in a room. Okay. Does that bother you? Oh no. This is a lot less badging than we did at CVS Caremark. Holy shit. You have no idea. You would get outside and you would hit your badge, and then you go into this little tiny antechamber where only 4 humans can exist, and you have to badge again to go through a turnstile like you're leaving the fucking zoo.
Yep. Yeah, we have to badge. We have to, badge to get in the building. And then our area is a restricted area because, well, we handle the parts. And, the mechanics aren't allowed to handle the parts. They only get the parts that we give them. And so we have a more restricted part of the building than everybody else. And, of course, our part of the building, which is restricted, is right in the middle of the building. So anybody that wants to go from this side of the building to that side of the building either needs to go to the 3rd floor and walk that hallway or, go outside, walk around because you can't cut through.
Yep. That was Wells Fargo out in Chandler. The facility we had there was, we had IT operations, 3 buildings, and they had a number of other things. And my section, because I was a project manager, program manager, I went in, like what you're talking, you walked into the man trap. So you scanned in to get into the building. You got into the man trap. You scanned to get past the man trap. You went to the security desk. You scanned to make sure that you were somebody who was supposed to be in that structure. You scanned to get on the friggin' elevator. Then I scanned to get into my section of the building. And there were sections that I could get to because I had real cryptographers working for me on what they called their cryptography program, which was canned off-the-shelf software for security. Gotcha. But I had a team of guys, I had a team of engineers who were all former either 3-letter agency or former Department of Defense engineers in cryptography. And so I would get to meet with these guys a couple of times a week. And when I first started, I'd sit with them and said, is this real crypto? Oh, hell no. You see me sitting in the locked room? No. That ain't what you... But it was enough security. They're like, yeah, it almost feels like the old days. It's just I don't get locked in by 3 armed security guards anymore for my 12-hour shift. Those were interesting times.
What was there's the electronics distributor. It's 3 letters. It's over in Scottsdale. I can't. The name escapes me right now. But you know the one I mean, right?
Which was like BAE?
It's all electronics, but that was the most high tech getting in and out of the building because they used a palm.
Okay.
It's like it's not DBL, but it's close to that, and it's all electronics stuff and components and everything from like diodes and resistors to generators, and it was a big warehouse. Yeah. But I wasn't in the warehouse for that temp job, which only lasted a couple months. We were up in the executive offices, and it was see these 3 rooms of filing cabinets? Yeah. Okay, 3 months. You need to get those all alphabetized and in boxes. We're moving them to another state. Okay.
Stand back. Let me roll up my sleeves. We're in.
We need one of 2 things. We need music, or you're all going to learn all the aspects of my life. Because
you're going to learn Morris dancing and how to alphabetize.
You put me in a work situation and there's no music, I will start singing.
Me too. they've learned that I sing sea shanties when you make me mop the floor at Wendy's.
I sing anything from the Beatles to Weird Al to Billy Joel to whatever pops into my head at the time. And, I think I'm a decent singer.
There's hope.
Nobody's told me to stop.
Nobody ran screaming from the room, so everybody was happy.
There's hope for the future. So the tall, I've been calling her the half elf. Oh, I can't drink. I have to go to work. Weed is, I've driven across the country, or half the country on weed, but I wouldn't drive around the block drunk. Can't do that. I don't function well. Anyway, but last night I worked, because she's like, they didn't really tell me what you're doing here. After I've been there for like a couple hours, she's like, in general, I'm like, well, in the beginning, it was come at night and close for a couple hours to kind of, like you guys were saying, set the tone, because I'm time to lean is time to clean. We were talking about it at work today. I was trying to meet my new coworker cubicle neighbors. I would have never hired me as a 16-year-old because I was a fucking horrible employee up until about the time I was 25 or so. Because first year, 50 years of childhood is the hardest. You don't really give a crap when you're a teenager. It's more of a sentence than an actual making money. And then when you get older and you start making very good money and you start paying your bills right away and you're like, take that, poverty! And so your perspective changes on getting stuff done.
Yeah, it took me a long time to realize that, being idle at work sucks because 8 hours seems like 80 when you're not doing anything. And so I keep busy. People are like, and, one of my pet peeves is I have coworkers that their hands and their mouth cannot be engaged at the same time. If they come up, they'll start talking, their hands will go to their side, and they will stand and talk for 10 minutes. I drive people nuts because when they come up to me and talk, I keep working and they think I'm ignoring them. It's like, no, I'm listening to you,
keep going.
But I'm being paid to be here and I've got things that I need done. Because at the end of the day, if they're all done, then I'm going to go in the break room and put my feet up and say, I put in a quality day.
Yeah.
My day is done. Yep. When I worked in the warehouses, my section of the warehouse was always clean. Because, like you said, like Bill had said, like you said, time to lean, there's time to clean. So first thing I'd ask, okay, what do you need me to do? Well, I need you to work on all of these things. And when that's done, what do you need me to do? Well, you can work on this. And when that's done, clean. Okay, well, I'm set. I have everything I need to do. And my, the warehouse managers and the directors and everybody would come out and they'd look and they'd say, well, where's Rob? Well, is the broom over there? Nope, then he's probably sweeping his area, or he's cleaning up the back section, or he's getting rid of boxes, or he's doing something because he's not sitting here. So we know he's doing it. And my area would always be done for the same reason you said, Rob. If I'm moving, then I can look up at the clock and say, oh, okay.
Yeah. And
then, oh, look, 40 minutes have gone by and my area looks good. Now I can move all the rest of the shit.
No, real quick. We were talking about music before, and her parents are my age. So she's like 22. And she plays a lot of Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac, and because you guys brought up Billy Joel, and she had a mix going on, and a Billy Joel song came on, and I immediately stopped and I turned to her and I'm like, well, I give you total points, because a lot of people know Billy Joel and they know his most popular songs, but not a lot of people put Vienna in a mix. It's nice. A very specific song. It's a masterpiece. And if you're any kind of artist, or got a passion beating inside of you, Vienna really kind of strikes a chord.
It is a very good one. My two favorite Billy Joel pieces are both on the 52nd. Well, there's one on Glass Houses and two on the 52nd Street album that just blow me away. On Glass Houses, Don't Ask Me Why. It's got a harpsichord solo in it.
Yeah.
I love that song. I had the 45, and I just love that song because it was so unorthodox. And on the 52nd Street album, there are two songs that stand out.
Honestly.
One is the first one on side 2, Stiletto. And the other one that absolutely blows me away, and it's my favorite Billy Joel song of all time, is Rosalinda's Eyes.
Yep.
That's a good song. Also, Honesty is that's
Honesty is good. Zanzibar is great. It's got
Zanzibar's good.
2 wicked trumpet solos in it.
Oh, yeah.
I forget the name of the trumpeter, but he was famous. But Billy holding a trumpet on the cover of the album implies that he was playing that, but no, he was not.
No, he's a piano player. He didn't play the trumpet.
Well, people that start off as piano players tend to be multi-instrumentalists.
Yeah. Percussionists make
my grandmother who taught piano had said, if you learn to play the piano first, all the other instruments come easy because everything is based on piano music nowadays. It's all written on a keyboard. Most music is written by somebody on a piano, even if it's not a piano piece.
It's fastest to. It used to be bass back in the day. Everything was written on bass, like in the. It's like Paul McCartney said. They made him play bass, and his first reaction was, "I don't want to be the bass player. That's the fat guy in the band." Because traditionally, you had to have girth to be able to really go up and down the
upright
neck.
Bass.
Yeah. Now little people are playing bass, and they're awesome, and they're like.
Now you see the hot chick playing bass.
Yeah, Shauna So or the Tina, what's her name from Sonic Youth?
Nick West. Look up Nick West, N-I-K.
Well, Susanna Hoff is a bass player for the Bengals.
Yeah, Nick West. She played with Prince, among others, and she is a phenomenal bass player.
Say what you want about Prince. He always put on an extremely tight and well-orchestrated show.
Big fan of Prince. He was probably one of the greatest entertainers of our time.
He's gone, but his music is still being repeated again and again. So,
but yeah, no, much props to Prince.
Yeah,
But then I'm a multi-genre music lover. I like everything. Yeah. I have a really good Latin swing playlist, which I break out on my coworkers, and they're like, "I didn't know you speak Spanish." Oh, that's the cool part. I don't.
But I love.
Well, then why are you listening to Spanish music?
Perez Prado.
Listen to the groove, man. It's dance music. It's got a groove. You can't listen to this and not move. You don't have to understand the words. Hell, listening to rock and roll, I don't understand half of the words that they say, and they're singing it in English.
Yes.
So what difference does it make?
Well, it's that I only listen to this band. On one hand, I admire that. On the other hand, you really cut yourself away from a lot of just soul cleansing and meaningful music that's come from all over the world.
I have a term that I like to use. I call it comfort music. What comfort music is the stuff that you listen to in high school or that maybe you grew up listening to with your parents that you never outgrew. And there are some people that live in their comfort music and never move beyond it, and then there's people, and I imagine you're the latter like me. You're always hungering for something you haven't heard.
But I constantly replay the old stuff, so
I do too. I still like my comfort music.
Yeah,
put on some Led Zeppelin or the Eagles or the stuff. We listen to classic rock at work, and I'll start singing along. And one of my coworkers said, "How many words do you know the songs? How many songs do you know the words to?" And I was like, "All of them.
Thousands.
If we're playing classic rock, I know them all. It's my superpower. I can hear a song 3 or 4 times, and I know the words without even trying to learn them."
There's a few obscure ones from a couple bands that I know how the melody goes. But
I've been singing it wrong for years, but now that you've got Google, you can look up the lyrics, and so I do that. I look up the lyrics so that I can sing it right. It's like, so that's what he said. I never knew that.
I'm at work, and Gabriel, one of the night managers, that's not the woman I was talking about, but he was, one night it was a mix, and they were playing Bananarama, and to one of the younger girls that's just a worker, said, all right, for 500 points, what's the name of the band? I have no idea. Bananarama. And they're like, what? They're all Hispanic. I'm like the only white guy. Bananarama. This came out when I was like 12, 1984. Cruel Summer. And they're like, oh, and I'm singing along with the girl. And then later, another song came on. They're still in the office because I'm the one setting the tone for work. So I'm out there washing all the dishes and mopping and brushing. And I walk in. Was it Taylor Dane? Unchain My Heart? Or fuck. Now,
No, Unchain My Heart was on Tony Braxton, I thought.
Right, but it was the Taylor wasn't Unchain My Heart, it was the other one. Anyway, but so it was all night. I kept walking over and telling him what the song was. So he changed all the music. And he's listening to basically Mexican rap.
I like rap music. I could listen to Mexican rap. I listen to Korean rap. My wife has gotten really big into K-pop, so we've been listening to a lot of Korean pop music. Which is actually way better than American pop music.
I'll say this.
It's like levels better than American pop music.
What he was listening to, some of it sounded like everything else sounds today. But some of it sounded a little bit like a Hispanic version of The Streets. Where they were using the same kind of, things and songs. And then all of a sudden this one song came on, and I go, they sampled Sonny. And he's like, what? The song, Sonny from the 60s. Thank you for the... And I started singing while the song was going, and he's like, wow, they sampled it. Yeah, dude, that's like all rap now. It's all
that's
parts
what
of
hip hop does, sampling music, and I'm okay with sampling.
They've been doing that since the 70s. That's
what Kool Herc did back. That's where hip hop started. Was a guy,
Rob and
turntables and samples. Yes. There's a really good documentary series on Netflix called The Evolution of Hip Hop. There are 2 seasons of it.
You were saying,
even if you're not a hip hop fan, highly recommended because it starts at the beginning. I love it, but it's very informative. It starts from the very beginning of Kool Herc and the blackout, and how hip hop came about because the New York blackout, and everybody stole all the fucking DJ equipment that night, and all of a sudden you have all these DJs, and
Sappy.
Hip hop was born. Yeah. And then it goes through it discusses all the major groups and the different styles. It does a little bit about Houston rap and some about Atlanta rap. ATL rap's my favorite kind.
I would have
Ludacris and Outkast.
I would have to say that the rap I listen to the most, because it's on my MP3 player and that's part of the daily routine, is probably the Beastie Boys and Cypress Hill, because that's the majority. I mean, other stuff is on there, like Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Beastie Boys are one of the biggest selling hip-hop groups of all time.
Yeah.
Cypress Hill is good. I also, the wife has turned me on to Public Enemy.
Oh, Public Enemy, yeah.
Public Enemy and Wu-Tang.
Limited.
And what's the other one she likes? A Tribe Called Quest.
Yes.
All really good music.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes, all good stuff. Now, a few years ago, Chuck D of Public Enemy and one of the members of Cypress Hill, I want to say it was Be Real, joined with Tom Morello and the bass player and the drummer from Rage Against the Machine, and they formed a band called Prophets of Rage, and they did an album that's it's rock, but it's got some rap elements in it. It's a cross between Public Enemy and Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine, I have a feeling, started like this. When they were all in high school, I just discovered Henry Rollins. There's a band called Black Flag. What? I have a feeling that's
Probably.
I don't know for sure. I've never read their bio. I was like a senior when they exploded and really got huge, or maybe it was 90. It was 90. 90 was the end of my senior year, the beginning of 90.
They're the Renegades of Funk. But yeah, they
we were already making fun of it like Weird Al Yankovic. Fishing with your family, got a pocket full of smelt. You know. What do you expect from 12th graders? I know.
But no, that was some
What
good stuff. But yeah, I have coworkers that live in their comfort music zone, and they're like, well, there's just no good music these days. If you listen to the radio, no, there's not.
No,
but whatever genre of music you like, I guarantee there are bands out there doing it. You like 50s doo-wop? There are doo-wop bands out there. You like big band music? There are big bands that tour out there. You like rockabilly? Oh, God, there's tons of rockabilly bands and bands that sound like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and are churning out new music that sounds like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. You just have to go out there and find it.
I think that that there's a resurgence of every style of music every half a decade or so.
I agree. It reinvents itself.
Well, I mean, explain the giant interest in swing in the mid-90s when you had swing kids and you had kids just showing up in fucking three-piece suits and fedoras and zoot suits and pork pie hats and all this. Like, what? Is there time travel now? What the fuck is this?
It's all
and they were into it, and it was cool, and they were having clubs, and they were... Because, I'm sorry, that kind of competition dancing, or then you had that one period of time in the late 90s where gangs were resorting back to breakdancing contests instead of violence. I don't think it caught on, but that's fucking cool.
You still have a lot of that kind of dance competition going on, and it's impressive to see, because I see it posted on different social media areas where there will be groups, and usually it's the ones I've seen have come out of New York and Chicago, and of all places, Las Vegas. And they're out there, and they're just, and these are kids, and I will use that term loosely because they have incredible skills, and there's got to be a good number of them that are professional dancers, and this is their opportunity to just let loose.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to do this as a result of working in a professional program or a show or something like that, but this is my opportunity to go out and just cut loose and show what I'm capable of. Take that chance at blowing my ACL and just really having a good time.
I mean, Mick Mars is like becoming a human statue. Just lost a giant battle of court with the rest of Motley Crue. And he's still putting other bands together. And I can't tour. I'm only going to do local shows because, well, I mean, stenosis is bad enough. And he has some, like, on steroids version of it.
Yeah, he's got some serious health problems. But he still wants to do it.
Yeah, because he loves it.
I've never followed Motley Crue close. I've never been a big fan of the band, but
I've seen them 3 times in concert, and they're way better on the albums. Whereas you see, we were talking about this today, too, because the one coworker had a Back in Black shirt. I'm like, oh, how many times have you seen them in concert? And she's like, once. And I'm like, once is enough. But, I mean, AC/DC, you hear them on, well, I didn't get to see Bon Scott live, but Brian Johnson and Angus and Malcolm, and that's how they sound.
Have you ever heard any of Brian Johnson's other work?
No.
He was in a band called Geordie, which was a pop rock band, and he didn't have the raspy heavy metal vocals that he has with AC/DC. He can actually sing. There's coworker of mine has Sirius Satellite, Sirius XM, and one of the channels that he listens to is B.B. King's Bluesville. And there was a song on there by a blues guitarist with Brian Johnson sitting in on vocals, singing, not doing the AC/DC rasp, but singing. And you can, at the end of some of the notes, you can hear a little bit of that rasp in his voice. But dude can really sing if he wants to really sing. But he sounds like AC/DC because that's AC/DC.
They're so much fun. They put on a great show. You get exactly what you expect.
He was the reason they went heavy. I mean, Bon Scott AC/DC was a boogie woogie bar band.
It was lighter, yeah.
Back in Black was a metal band. And he was the one that pushed them to do that. He was the one that said, no, we should change up the sound, go heavier so that,
it was a gamble.
There's a distinction between the Bon Scott era AC/DC and the later stuff.
Anytime you change a singer in a band and the band changes the genre just a tiny bit, it's a gamble.
The first AC/DC I heard at all was the Back in Black album. My next door neighbor had gone and bought the vinyl, and we sat out in he had a little clubhouse he built out in the backyard that his dad let him build. And we sat out there and listened to AC/DC, and, I had never heard anything like it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I went out the next day and bought my own copy.
It was so far away from it. Yeah. Well, I mean...
And how many bands do you know that actually the show itself is an eye-opener to the music? You can hear the studio album. The studio album is wonderful. That's why you like the band. That's why you jump in. But how many bands can take those songs and make them essentially something new each time they perform them live? And you don't lose the original song, but now you've got these incredible nuances that come into play. AC/DC was able to do that. Pink Floyd could pull that off in the second
Deep Purple
iteration.
Was a big fan of here's the live version that's going to have like a 5-minute guitar solo and a 5-minute organ solo.
Yeah. And
every song.
The other one, the one bands, I really enjoyed seeing Black Sabbath live, because you could listen to the album and then you could go to the show and they would put in some nice nuances and make things come about. And that was really cool. But the one band that I loved to see live, and they would openly admit that there were shows that were not what they had hoped for, but they just went with it, was the Dead. The Grateful Dead loved to go out on time. This is the song, this is the album, this is what we've done. But here, let me tell you what I'm thinking in this instance when I may or may not be tripping balls on something that I
have. Never saw the Dead.
I was never a big fan, honestly. I tried. They've got some music I like, but I never liked them enough to want to go see them in concert. They're just not for me.
The thing that really drew me to the live Grateful Dead was the fact that they were the only band I had ever heard of that had an official tapers section. And the whole purpose was, you come, you bring your recording equipment, we want you to record these live programs, live shows. And then you would trade the live recordings, and they were happier than hell to have you do it. And some of that stuff was extraordinary. And when you get a chance to find some of them that are still available, if somebody's saved and put into a digital format or something, and you're listening, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah. Because each show was a live jam that was on... Hold on, I'll be right there.
Yeah, it was just having a good time.
I remember watching one of those anthology horror series kind of on TV. It's kind of like The Twilight Zone, but I don't remember the name of it. But it was an episode that had Peter Fonda in it. And he was a road traveling serial killer. And it was an episode about different road traveling serial killers. And he picks up this girl who's another road traveling serial killer. And he's playing the Grateful Dead. And she's harping on him about how, she doesn't like the Grateful Dead, this and that. He's like, well, you haven't heard them live. And they popped the tape out and he said, this is them at the at the height of their power. And he pops in another tape and it starts and it sounds exactly like the other tape.
That's like
Fish is another band that's like that. They're a jam band. They don't have a lot of recorded music. It's all live.
Yeah.
They go out and they have a good time, and that's one of the reasons why. That's why they have the strength in their followers, because they look for that. They love that aspect of it. They want that new feeling. Okay, make this song new for me, because I've heard it 10,000 times before, but I know when I walk in today, you're going to play it different. You're going to give me something new, and you're going to really excite me, bring me back into it. And there aren't a lot of bands that go to that level, but there are some truly great bands that can't play live because their music doesn't necessarily translate. It's hard to generate that same sound or that same feeling or that same thing in this huge arena, although it's gotten better with the quality of equipment and reproduction that can be done today. There were times that some bands, Motley Crue was one I saw live and wasn't very happy with at the venue, and enjoyed the music because it was the music of the time, and the music itself wasn't necessarily great or grand. It was what the music associated to memories. There were events, there were things that happened. Music was there. The music was a part of it. The music was something that we were able to go through and do. Yeah. Some of the bands that are out there that don't necessarily translate to the large arenas do an extraordinary show in the small events. You put them in a band, you put them in a club or a smaller place, and you get that close. You get closer to the band, and they seem to really just vibe on that. They love that. That's all. That's really cool.
Yes. I had a similar experience to your Motley Crue in that I saw Metallica for the Injustice for All tour with, I think it was Faith No More and either LA Guns or Faster Pussycat. And I got to say that the guys sounded drunk. There were a couple of songs where they started like they were playing in different keys because it didn't match up. One song they quit right in the middle of because James Hetfield said, quote, "I fucking hate that song."
Yeah.
And, you know, they just didn't put on a very professional show at that time. Now, I imagine it's gotten better, but, you know, I didn't begrudge them playing drunk because I've seen Iron Maiden play drunk, and they're tight, even drunk.
But they're used to playing drunk. They do it all the time.
I don't think they've ever not played drunk. They've got muscle memory. I saw Iron Maiden. I forget which tour it was, but I think they were doing the Trooper, and Bruce is running around with this Union Jack flag over his shoulders like a cape. And their bass player, Steve Harris, slipped on something on the stage and fell flat on his back in the middle of the song. And because he didn't want to break the beat of the song to get back up, he finished the song laying on his back.
Yep, never missed a beat. Never missed a beat.
And, you know,
Ouch.
Bruce went over and took that big Union Jack and laid it over him like a sheet, like he was dead.
He was dead.
See, I miss the old days when you used to hear about tune-ups, when the bands were getting ready to go on another tour. The album came out, and they wanted to figure out how they were going to do it. And you would hear about, you know, hey, we're going to go down to, you know, the Mason Jar. Because there's a new band coming in that's going to play, and it turns out to be a headlining band because they wanted to come in under a different name, and they're doing a tune-up, and they were second or third down on the list of bands. And you walk in there, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, what? Oh, wait a minute. And these guys are having a field day and just jamming, going for it, and you just got the, you know,
Blue
I'll show my
Oyster Cult was one
age.
of those bands that did that.
Blue Oyster Cult used to
under the
do
name
it.
Soft White Underbelly.
There were a lot of really great bands that used to pull that off. Vegas was big for that. You'd hear about it after the fact, where they'd show up in little venues in Vegas.
Surprise!
A lot of stuff happened in LA. San Francisco was another area where a lot of the bands liked to go because they knew they could breeze in. They could have a good time, and they would have a great response. And people would tell them, you know, people didn't have a problem necessarily saying that was really cool, but when you did this, that kind of sucked. And you might want to think, oh, thanks, man, we love it. But how often do you see that? That seems, in my mind, now I'm going to be the old man yelling at the kids in the yard. In my mind, that seems to have kind of gone away about the same time as the what we knew as the freebie con, where you would go to a convention for whatever genre the convention was, and you could meet the stars and the big players,
creators,
and it wasn't $125 to get in line, and you can only have one thing to get signed or any of the rest of that stuff. You could kind of bounce around, and they would talk to you, and they wanted to be there. They wanted to bump. You could bump into people in the retail room, and you're looking at something, and you reach for something, and then the person next to you just turns out to be Michael Bain. He wanted that same thing. Oh, dude, hey, cool.
Oh my God!
That seems to have gone by the wayside with a lot of the tune-up stuff. And I could be wrong. I've been way out of the music scene for many years. Gray hair, gray beard. But
I wonder if it has to do with all the royalties and lawyers, and nobody covers tunes anymore. They stopped doing that really, really hard at the end of the 80s.
Yeah, it was sad because up until about before 2000 was the last time I walked into an event like that. Somebody called me up, hey, we're going to go see this band, but they got like 3 bands playing, and we're gonna go early. Oh, sure, okay, cool, that's fun. Yeah. And you show up, and it's whoever up there doing a tune-up as the second band on stage, and then the headlining band comes out, and they all jam and have a good time. Yeah. So it's like, oh wow, shit. Couldn't pay enough money to be there.
I think the last cover that was awesome that I can remember was in the early 90s was Letters to Cleo did I Want with Cheap Tricks, I Want You to Want Me. Both
people
bands
still
are
do
awesome.
Covers.
What's that?
People still do a lot of.
I hope so. Covers are awesome.
Disturbed does a cover on every album. They
Good.
recently, their last album, or one of their most recent albums, they covered The Sound of Silence. And while I don't particularly care for their version of it, not because it's not good, but because The Sound of Silence is a duet, and he sings it solo. And it doesn't sound right if it's not in harmony. Yeah. Not to me. I won't slag the version of the song. Dave Draymond has an awesome voice, and he really does the song justice. But I don't. Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. Not because it's not a good song, but because half of the song is missing to me.
This year he's gonna do "Baby It's Cold Outside," just him.
He probably would.
I don't know. I don't know the guy, but he sounds like an egomaniac if he did a duet.
With a strong bass beat.
Well, he's Jewish, so I doubt he's going to record any.
Oi, I really can't stay. Sorry, it's more English.
But no, other bands, they did a cover on an earlier album. They covered Genesis's Land of Confusion. And it was actually a very faithful cover because they didn't change anything other than a couple of those noises that he makes.
And that's fine. It adds to it.
Yes, it did add to it. And then
I like their version.
Avenged
I'm a big fan of it. And they what?
Avenged Sevenfold is another metal band out there. They did an album a little while back that had some covers and B-sides on it. Among the things they covered Pantera's Walk, and they covered an obscure Iron Maiden song called Flash of the Blade.
Okay.
I don't remember that one. Okay.
You'll die as you lived in the flash of the blade.
Oh, that one.
In a corner forgotten by no
the weird
one.
Ballads that Bruce and the Voice came up.
Oh, that one's not a ballad. That one's a galloper.
Nice. I have to reacclimate myself. I can't remember everything.
It's on Power Slave. But metal is my thing, and Iron Maiden is one of my top favorite bands. So.
I love all the metals: tin, iron,
magnesium.
Particularly
fond of, beryllium.
Beryllium.
I can't have magnesium in the shop though.
No. You'll burn down the damn neighborhood.
I was not an A+ chemistry student, but yes, I do remember.
That's right.
Once magnesium lights, it doesn't go out.
Exactly. That's why I keep sand around in case some does happen to show up in the goddamn shop at some point.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a secret anymore, but when I was in the Army in the 80s, all of the radio equipment and the sensitive signal equipment, the casings were magnesium. That way, if you were going to get caught, you could take that radio and chuck it on a fire and it would burn.
You could light it up and that was the destruction function.
And it would burn hot enough to destroy it. We had these little thing, I forget what the acronym was, but it was a Vinson unit. It was a little thing about this long that plugged into a radio. And what it would do is, let's say we're broadcasting on a particular channel, you and I. There could be somebody with a Vinson unit and somebody with the corresponding Vinson unit broadcasting on the same channel as us, and they could hear us, but we wouldn't hear them.
Really?
It was a this is back in the 80s, a pretty sophisticated piece of equipment that I'm sure has been long since surpassed. But yeah, that was, I won't go into the details of how it worked because some of that's probably still classified. But we were told that if you're going to get captured, that gets burnt.
Get first.
Every time, light it on fire, that gets burnt first. That is the one thing that the Russians can't capture.
That was my dad's job in Vietnam. If they take Cam Bay, you've got to set the magnesium phosphorus strips alight to watch the machine burn to the ground. Good thing it didn't happen.
Good old days of making your own fucking mag grenades. Here.
Absolutely.
Need a little bit of aluminum, a little bit of magnesium. Make everybody get the hell away.
One big bada boom.
No, it just burns really hot and melts everything within range.
Yes,
Makes a big puddle, and it'll burn through concrete.
Teacher that let us play with some stuff. We got to experiment with sodium and caught the lawn at school on fire. Well, he had a 9x13 Pyrex casserole dish, and he put about a half inch of water in it, and then he dropped about a quarter-sized disc of sodium into the water to show us what would happen. And the sodium burst into flames.
Yep.
And he eventually, waited for the flames to die down. And then once they did, he poured that water out in the grass. The sodium water. And the sodium, something in the soil, ignited the grass from that water.
Chemistry.
Yes, chemistry.
Science,
yes,
bitches.
That was our science teacher that did that.
Wow.
That's when they
it wasn't a big fire. We ended up stomping it out, but we did. I imagine that there's probably still a burnt spot at Trevor Brown High School because that was like my sophomore year, and no grass grew there the rest of the time I went to school.
Years, there was no grass.
Start asking the groundskeeper, what are you using for fertilizer, please?
Yeah, these damn kids in there.
Remember some of the mean pranks we used to pull in high school. On the roof of the science building, there were these ladders that you could see if you were back far enough away. And I think they accessed the air conditioning units, but they looked like the ladder for a swimming pool diving board. And so we'd tell the freshmen that there's a pool on the roof of the science building. And I can get you a key, but it's going to cost you $10.
Yeah, I can sell you an elevator pass, but it'll cost you $10.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that wasn't nearly as bad as the pranks we pulled in the Army. Oh, God, they were merciless. Go to the comm shack and get me a can of Squelch. We need to refill it on the radio.
Won't work.
Or we were a mechanized infantry unit, so we drove, tracked vehicles, and every tracked vehicle has a shock absorber in the back that is called a track tensioner. You fill it with grease to bring out the slack so that you don't throw the track. And so track tension is a concept, not a physical item, but we'd send people, go get a bucket of track tension.
Go down to the basement and get me the bacon stretcher. We're going to need it for tomorrow's breakfast. The what?
We need you to go over to aviation and get some flight line and some rotor wash.
You're going to stand here with this bucket and catch the sparks while I'm grinding. You ready? We're going to recycle them.
That's right. I got a truckload of sailboat energy coming, and I need you to make sure that it's there. Check it in, because I need it. I need it over there.
That's just cool. The cooks were messing with me, and I was 15. But get the bacon stretcher. There's no such thing. We don't have a basement. And I didn't know the assistant manager was listening to the whole thing through the, order up for the food. I'm over in the dishwashing area because I was an annoying shit, and I'm annoying the cooks. So all of a sudden, the assistant manager comes out of nowhere, throws the door open angrily. Bill, go get the goddamn bacon stretcher right now and quit fucking around. This guy never swears. Oh my God, maybe there really is a bacon stretcher. Maybe we do have a basement. And I'm out there and I'm like moving the dishwasher or the washing machine and the dryer. And then the door opens. All I could hear is laughter, and he's holding his heart. Now, come on. And I found out later that he actually had like this serious liver condition and all this other stuff was going on with him. But oh my God. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't resist.
No, you're not.
No, he wasn't. We laughed about that for the whole until I started working at Taco Bell. It was a great job.
Yep.
He totally
See, Grandpa
got me.
used to do that.
It's one thing when it's like two of your coworkers that are like Beavis and Butthead, but an adult version. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes this like 25-year-old. Go do it right now.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
See, Grandpa used to do that with
Never acts
Dad.
like that.
When Grandpa had projects, and Dad would want to help out, or Dad would want to be involved, Grandpa would send him looking for very specific things. And it got to a point where, stuff that didn't exist, or, so I need some left-handed screws that are this side. I need them to be a 9/16 head, but they've got to be a 7/16 shank, and they've got to be left-handed threads. Well, where am I going to find it? Well, you go to Ace Hardware. If you go to this one here, if they don't have it, go to the one downtown. And I'd look at Grandpa, and he's like, it's like, okay. And sometimes he'd come back with them, and Grandpa would go, perfect. That's what I needed. Thank you very much. He'd put him up on the shelf.
Meanwhile, the guys at Ace Hardware. There's a modern version of that it exists. It's in Shrek. We were talking about Shrek earlier. When Shrek gets hit with the arrow and they run into Robin Hood and his merry men. You've got an arrow in your butt. Oh, look at that. And then Donkey freaks out, and Fiona grabs him. Go get me blue flower, red thorns. And he runs away. And what are the flowers for? To get rid of Donkey. Oh, blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns. This would be so much easier if I wasn't colorblind. It's one of the funniest lines.
The call that I took earlier when we were starting was from my youngest son, who has discovered the wonderful world of woodworking. Ooh. So for years, being the dutiful dad, Grandpa, and all the rest of that stuff, tried to show him woodworking. I had the whole wood shop in the, at the house and everything else. So now he says, Dad, what tools should I buy? Because I'm really enjoying doing woodworking. He's built this beautiful dog run for his dogs in the backyard. And now he wants to do more. Well, I'm thinking about, I want to go buy some tools. What should I buy first? Should I buy a table saw? Should I buy myself a miter saw? Should I buy myself a circular saw? So that was a 15-minute dissertation on the difference between Jigsaw, all of these. And the whole thing in the back of my mind is like, I tried to show you this shit 20 years ago.
My father and I had the same conversation. I've already shown this to you. Yeah, you're right.
So now he's like, well, can I come over and you show me the tools that you have? And explain them to me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, come on over. And again, in the back of my mind is the little 3-year-old with a pot pan going, we did this before! We did this before!
Yeah. Hey, sometimes it's overwhelming, and like sometimes you're working with an expert, and you're just absolutely like, you're gonna take over every project. Here you go, just do it.
He was my player. His older brother, always wanted to do. He was the mechanic. He was mechanically inclined. He always wanted to the point where the joke. It's not as much of a joke. It's a joke because it's true. I would be working on something, trying to explain it to him. And as I'm going through showing him how to do it, I couldn't see what I'm doing because suddenly there was this black mop of hair. It's like, no, you need to stay over here and I'll show you how this works. No. So I had to keep getting him out of the way. Zach, I would sit there and say, Zach, let me show you. You want to learn how to do this?
Yeah.
No, he had a girlfriend.
Oh.
He had another girlfriend. He had more things he was going to do. He was the player. Gotcha. He was always the player. So I was like, now that he's a dad and he has the house and 4 children, and now it's, Dad, show me how to do. Dad, how do we do brakes? Dad, how do I? Dad, show me how to weld. Dad, show me how to cut wood. Dad, it's like, okay, do it now before I die. Let's get it out of the way.
Hey, at least, father and son is always tough. You can do everything right, and then they still don't want anything to do with you. And if you're lucky, you do everything right, and they want to spend all their time with you.
The only skill I have that I can pass on to my kids is game mastering. And I'm sure my boy will be a good game master someday.
You have the most highly prized skill of imagination and the ability to convey that imagination.
I've been told I'm a good storyteller and that I would have been a good educator had I gone into teaching.
You and Bill are cut of a similar cloth, and that is that you can tell a story and enthrall the listener. You could be telling somebody how to make a peanut butter sandwich, but you guys can build that story. Let me tell you the tale about the peanut butter sandwich. But first, let's talk about the bread and the miser who creates it.
First, we try.
How do we get there?
Delicious.
And that is an incredible skill that you guys have, and you have developed it, and it is extraordinary. And I am grateful every time I get to experience it. So that is a wonderful thing. Never ever downplay that skill set.
My favorite quote is meeting people and just not so much spending time with them at the Renaissance Festival, because that's a given that hopefully I know something about the era and the genre and everything, but to work in an office or work in a restaurant or work in any kind of capacity where you do have a little bit of time to stand around and talk after all the work is done. And my favorite thing is, man, I wish you were my history teacher in high school. I would have learned a lot more. You really love history. Yeah. And you make it exciting. Like, well, it should be. It already happened.
Why I tell people, you know why I know so much about history? I listen to Iron Maiden. I can learn more history from a 6-minute Iron Maiden song than I can from a whole semester of history.
Yep.
You're not wrong. And especially like we will fight them on the beaches, in the air. They have the Churchill speech at the beginning of, was it Trooper? No.
Aces High.
Aces High. Whoops.
Yeah.
It's close.
The Trooper was about the charge of the Light Brigade against the Russians, and I want to say the 17th or 18th century. Where?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not a happy song.
No, they don't have a lot of happy songs.
They don't have, even Wasted Years is kind of sad because he's just talking about. Did you know they originally wanted to call that song Golden Years? They were like, oh, this is a great song. We got to call it Golden Years. And they're like, duh. There's already a song called
Adrian
Years
Smith
by
wrote
Bowie.
that song, and he wanted to call it Golden Years,
Yeah.
but
Thank you for filling in the gaps. They're like, duh, Bowie, Golden Years.
yeah, that album,
Oh,
like I said, I'm a Iron Maiden geek. That album was a shift for Iron Maiden because it's the first time they used synth augmented guitars. They didn't actually use synthesizers, no keyboard, but they ran the guitars through a synth. And so some of the guitar sounds they have were affected. It was also the first album since Bruce joined the band that he didn't contribute any music. They shot down every song that he wrote for that album.
Really?
Because he wanted to do weird acoustic and progressive stuff that they didn't want to do. And
no, dude, that's
it was the beginning. It was what set up for him eventually leaving the band. Was that album had him already thinking is like, okay, now I'm just the singer in this band. I'm not really an important part. And so started looking for outs. But
just a singer in a rock and roll band.
That can be a very interesting time to track the growth of the members of the band in their musicology, their skill set, and their mindsets as they grow, as they develop life skills.
A band that went through a lot of lineup changes. I don't think they had the exact same lineup for the first 4 albums. After the first album, they replaced the guitar player. After the second album, they replaced the singer. After the third album, they replaced the drummer. And then they had 4 albums with an intact band. And then Adrian Smith left and was replaced. And then Bruce Dickinson left and was replaced. And eventually they both came back to the band.
Yep.
Anyways, gentlemen.
It is that time.
It is that time.
This is actually episode 57. I was wrong. Welcome to the Full Moon.
The last time was 57. This is 58.
This is 56. Sure. No, because it
No,
says...
my last one was numbered 57 last week.
Because I had 01-27-26, episode 56. Baby New Year versus Cupid.
Okay, maybe
Deadlands.
Maybe I'm wrong then. You are the master of the master geeks, so mine is wrong.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm definitely the loudest.
You are the keeper of the archive.
You, most obnoxious one. You shall speak for us. Oh, excellent. I'll get ready.
Anyways,
episode 57.
Yes. This has been the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge with myself, Jingo the Fool, my co-host, Hornswoggle the Great, and Rob the Blacksmith. If you liked what you hear, come see us next week. We'll be around. Well, maybe not. Bill's got himself a showbiz gig, and we might have to put it on hiatus for a couple of months. We'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, stay tuned and watch this channel.
Fantastic.
We'll see you all soon. Y'all have a good night.
Like and subscribe.
Have a good night.
Like
Stay
and
geeky, gentlemen.
Absolute. Stay geeky. Thanks, guys. Thank you for filling in for me with my tardiness and everything. You both have a wonderful night.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. You could have watched anybody, but you decided to watch us. Thank you.